NASA's SpaceX Crew-10 mission lifted off at 7:03 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time from Launch Complex 39A at the agency's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. NASA astronauts and McClain as commander. And Nichole Ayers as pilot. Along with mission specialists JAXA, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, astronaut Takuya Onishi and Roscosmos cosmonaut Kirill Peskov are experiencing 2G while SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft and Falcon 9 rocket go through a rapid succession of events.
Fire went out, lights went down. When you feel lost in your shadow, don't feel alone, don't scream so loud. We are living in this cruel world. Broken but strong, gotta move on. You're not a bakery of life. Equip my soul, find the real gold. I'll fulfill what I started.
Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss other videos. This channel summarizes news, documentaries, customs and traditions, entertainment, traveling and hobbies. Don't skip this video, watch it until the end.
Crew-10 is getting suited up, ready to go to continue their regular float crewed flight from US soil to station as part of NASA's commercial crew program.
It will take about 28.5 hours for the spacecraft to autonomously dock to the space station at 11:30 p.m. EDT Saturday, March 15th, while traveling 17,000 miles per hour orbiting the Earth. Coming up next, the 9 Merlin engines on Falcon 9's first stage will burn through 1 million pounds of propellant during the next 3 minutes.
Crew-10 begin working towards SpaceX Dragon in preparation for NASA's SpaceX launch to the International Space Station.
SpaceX has launched a crew of astronauts who will take over duties on the International Space Station from NASA's Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, allowing the duo to return home from the International Space Station after a days-long journey turned into a 9-month, politically charged trip.
Lights went down when you feel lost in your shadow. Don't feel alone, don't scream so loud. We are living in this cruel world. Broken but strong, gotta move on. You're not a bakery of life. Equip my soul, find the real gold.
Let me explain about these 4 seats.
There are 4 seats. We have the commander, pilot, and then 2 mission specialists on the very ends. Once they are all strapped in, the seats recline to their laid-back position ready for the launch. The commander and pilot are now in a good position to use the 3 touchscreens.
Find the real gold, I'll fulfill what I started.
The Crew-10 mission, part of a routine staff rotation jointly operated by NASA and SpaceX, took off at 7:03 p.m. Eastern Time Friday from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. A SpaceX Dragon capsule, riding atop one of the company's Falcon 9 rockets, is carrying the 4 Crew-10 astronauts, NASA's and McClain and Nichole Ayers, Takuya Onishi of the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Kirill Peskov, to orbit.
Went down when you feel lost in your shadow. Don't feel alone, don't scream so loud. We are living in this cruel world. Broken but strong, gotta move on. You're not a bakery of life. Equip my soul, find the real gold. I'll fulfill what I started.
Don't skip it yet. Let's watch this video until the end. You will see the beauty of the Earth directly from outer space. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. They will be launched into the air towards space. Don't skip this video.
T-minus 15.
Let's see.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. Go SpaceX, go NASA Crew-10. Copy, 1 Alpha.
And liftoff of Crew-10 now
Vehicles
soaring to the
pitching down
International
range.
Space Station. 1.7 million pounds of thrust now propelling Falcon 9 and Crew-10. We're continuing to get good callouts on the first stage performance so far. just over 1 minute and 10 seconds into today's flight, traveling at more than 1,400 miles per hour.
Stage 1 Bravo.
And we just heard that
SpaceX
call out
copies,
for
1 Bravo.
1 Bravo, again, stage and back engine, which we just heard. And then we'll have MECO, or main engine cutoff, where the 9 engines on the first stage will cut off ahead of the first and second stages, will be separating from one another. Then the single Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will ignite and continue to carry Crew-10 to orbit while the first stage begins its journey back to Earth. Now we're just 2 minutes into today's
Rocket
flight. The
launch
vehicle is
begin to
traveling
be released
just
from space.
Main engine cutoff.
SpaceX Dragon, 2 Alpha.
Stage separation confirmed.
Copy, 2 Alpha.
Great callouts and incredible views there on your
And
left-hand
recognition.
screen. On your left-hand screen, you can see a view from stage 1. And an extremely excited crowd here in Hawthorne. Awesome views of that boost back burn on the first stage, as well as the MVAC engine igniting on the second stage. Great views there. Now the booster is in its boost back burn. This is the first of 3 burns as it makes its way back down to Earth. This will last about 45 seconds. And the Crew-10 crew is still on board Dragon, attached to Falcon 9's second stage, which you can see there on your right-hand screen.
And we're now at 3 minutes and 20 seconds into today's flight. The vehicle is traveling about 6,500 miles per hour. They are on their way to the space station.
Some cool views there on your left-hand screen. That's the first stage booster as it's making its way back down to Earth. This is a ground tracking camera getting these awesome views.
And on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see that lone Merlin vacuum engine of the second stage. We're continuing to get good performance on the second stage. And the crew's G-load as they continue to make their way into orbit. Now 7 minutes into today's flight, the first stage making its way back down to Earth and the second stage continuing to fire.
This is an awesome view. Let's see if we can see the center engine relight for that landing burn here in a few seconds. There's that landing burn. Let's watch as Falcon 9 touches down on landing zone 1.
Stage 2 SCS safe.
And the crowd here is excited to see Falcon 9 touch down on landing zone 1.
Standing by for a second engine cutoff.
And back shutdown.
Dragon SpaceX, nominal orbit insertion.
And there we heard confirmation
Launch
of
escape system disarmed.
good confirmation of orbital insertion. Crew-10 is now well on their way to the International Space Station following.
The second stage is preparing for Dragon separation here, which should happen shortly. In about 10-15 seconds is what we're expecting.
They will drop down
And
second
we're preparing
stage.
for stabilizing the second stage so that we can have a smooth separation.
And there you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, the crowd is going wild. There on your screen,
The second stage does not fall to Earth, but will burn up when it is in the atmosphere.
and Dragon is now flying free. 10 minutes into today's flight. That was about a minute after we had that second engine cutoff.
Dragon, SpaceX, Chief Engineer on Countdown 1. On behalf of the entire Falcon team, we thank you for flying with Falcon and wish you a great mission. Over to LD.
It was an honor flying with you this evening. We wish you well on your journey and give Crew 9 our best. Thank you for flying SpaceX.
SpaceX Dragon, this is Crew-10 Commander Ann McClain. Thank you to all of the teams from across the world who contributed to the launch today. Spaceflight is tough, but humans are tougher. Days like today are made possible only when people choose to do the harder right over the easier wrong. Build relationships, choose cooperation and believe in the inherent goodness of all people across the world. To my family and friends, without you, I would not be here. Explore boldly, live gracefully, go Crew-10. And over to pilot Nichole Ayers.
Nichole Ayers again. We're not the first humans to get to orbit, and we wouldn't be here without the bravery and hard work of those who have paved the way for human spaceflight. We now get the unique perspective of Earth without borders and get to revel in the connectedness of humanity. I would be remiss to not once again acknowledge those who helped me get here, to this wonderful view and this perspective, to the teachers, coaches, fellow officers, fellow teammates, Raptor Nation, to my friends and family that encouraged my dreams from the start. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
This is Mission Specialist Takuya Onishi. I want to say a huge thank you to NASA and SpaceX, especially the Falcon 9 team for the successful launch, and we are looking forward to a smooth ride to the International Space Station. 日本の皆さん、たくさんの応援ありがとうございます。9年ぶりの無重力の感覚をかみしめてます。これから先の ISS への宇宙の旅、楽しんでいきたいと思います。I will now hand the mic over to Mission Specialist Kirill.
Thanks a lot to NASA and SpaceX for this wonderful ride, and I want to say a couple of words in Russian. Пользуясь такой чудесной возможностью, хочу поздравить с 65-летием со дня начала подготовки первого отряда. И также хочу сказать спасибо большое за те знания и жизненный опыт, который мной были получены в тех стенах для того, чтобы выполнить этот полет. А также спасибо школе номер 14 города Назарова, Ульяновскому высшему авиационному училищу гражданской авиации и авиакомпании МКАР и Нордвинд, где я начинал свой путь в небо. И, конечно же, спасибо большое семье и за поддержку.
Thank you, Crew-10. At this time, I can report nominal dehumidifier activation and service section Draco checkouts.
SpaceX Dragon, copies.
Dragon SpaceX, nominal nose cone opening and forward bulkhead Draco checkouts.
Deployed, and that the crew is now able to lift their visors. And there, again, we're seeing some views inside the Dragon Endurance spacecraft with Crew-10 on their way to the International Space Station.
Dragon SpaceX, there are about 3 minutes remaining in the current ground station pass. At this time, you're welcome to introduce your zero-G indicator. We're using the full crew cam so we can see all 4 crew members right now.
All right, copies. Thank you, SpaceX. We'd like to introduce the Crew-10 G indicator. Takuya is holding him up. This is a hand crochet origami crane. The Japanese origami, hand crocheted in the United States, and his name is Drug, which is the Russian name for friend. Origami is the Japanese art of folding paper. This is a nod to the unique and deep cultural traditions from which each of us come. While we're from different parts of the world, we are brought together in this bold endeavor, and we represent all of humanity. The folded paper design was also chosen to represent paper airplanes that we made when we were kids, before we were astronauts, when all we had was a dream. And we looked up at the sky and we wondered, what if? It's a symbol that every big accomplishment starts with a quiet dream, and that dreams do come true when you believe in yourself and you listen only to those who believe in you. Crew-10 believes in all of the dreamers. The flag and the number markings on the crane, there's a number 10 on each of its wings and a flag from each one of our countries on the tail. This is a nod to each of our shared experiences as professional pilots. These patches are arranged to look like an airplane. This is a source of deep pride for our crew, because what pilot doesn't like to talk about the fact that they're a pilot? But this also symbolizes our shared culture as astronauts. In the years of training together, we found we have far more in common than we do different. Our zero-G indicator was handmade by a small business owner in the United States. This represents all the hands which created our entire space program, and this rocket and this capsule that we're flying today. It also represents all of the artists and musicians who inspire people to imagine beyond what they can see. Spaceflight is perhaps the most complex endeavor of our time, but it it was built one step at a time, by one person at a time. Finally, the origami crane is the international symbol for peace, hope, and healing. Crew-10 hopes to serve as a beacon of hope, a reminder of what humans can accomplish when we see the goodness in one another and we choose to work together toward a common goal. Today, we are united not through common enemy, but through shared optimism and a basic belief in the goodness of humanity. It is far easier to be enemies than it is to be friends. It's easier to break partnerships and relationships than it is to build them. Spaceflight is hard, and success depends on leaders of character who choose the harder right over the easier wrong, and who build programs, partnerships, and relationships. We explore for the benefit of all. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, then go together. Crew-10 chooses to go together in peace, because you cannot be great without the greatness of others. Go NASA, go Roscosmos, go JAXA, and go Crew-10.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.